Good day, friends. This is a voice-only video because a face is just a distraction. Recently, society has not done youth any service with the reduction of paternal authority to which to rebel in order to mature. We punish our children much less, and they are left feeling invincible and narcissistic, only to crumble at the first taste of discipline. We do not have mandatory military services anymore that could level the field of the exuberant personalities, and slower individuals have to wait till much later in life to be confronted with the shortcomings of the structures of their personalities. I want to talk about one of the processes that occurs when transitioning from child to adult. When we stop blaming others and take responsibility of our thoughts, words, and actions. During this transition, one feeling that is amplified is the feeling of guilt, which allows us to place blame on others. Let me explain. We resort to blaming others for our mistakes. The reason is that the rules have already been set by others, and therefore we are not completely responsible for our own actions, or at least we feel we are not. The father that punishes is also the reason that it's never my fault. I'm obeying orders from above. How many soldiers responsible for the worst crimes stated, "It wasn't my fault, we were carrying out orders we were given"? Since a set of rules that are not mine have been imposed on me, I'm not responsible for my actions. I'm also not responsible for damage I create in my search for pleasure, personal growth, and ambitions. I long the need for forgiveness of the Father, from whom I desire freedom, but cannot seem to alienate myself from. I wish to emancipate myself from the severity of God, but I am reluctant, since I do not want to be responsible for my actions and prefer to feel guilty when I follow my pulsions and instincts, instead of having to assume responsibility for my own doing. I'd rather not grow. Better to feel guilt and fear losing the love of the Father than assume the responsibility of my actions. We propose identities and roles that are unreachable. When their limitations show, the man-child cracks in self-doubt and unacceptance of human limits. The individual still feels, if he has not transitioned from blaming others to accepting responsibilities, as if it's still dad reprimanding unsuccess and mother praising good efforts and results. We must progress from external sources, God the Almighty that punishes, to internal resources for praise and to repress the fear of losing his love. The child, hopefully still very young, learns to manage his internal world relating appropriately to his social surroundings. Later in the development, he will renounce the need to have outside control on his guiding principles, giving up the need for external punishment and praise. Only emancipation will develop our own sets of morals that will grow us in owning our actions. We must, though, possess a strong and established self-esteem, not to resort to blaming others for our own failures. And instead of perduring in the self-pity, we can recognize ourselves as capable of determining our path without a superior being, God or Dad, to tell us what is right and what is wrong. Choosing our path, irrespective of what authority thinks, requires the ability to be honest with ourselves and with others. We mustn't feel ashamed of our actions if we are to take full responsibility and ownership of them. The moment we lie, we eschew ownership, as not telling the truth, especially in trivial issues, more so than in life matters, means we are ashamed of our actions and do not want to take responsibility of our own behavior. We do not want whoever we identify as an authoritarian being to tell us we have made a mistake or done something wrong for fear of punishment as children or fear of judgment as adults. For example, we're late for work. We can do one of two things. We can say that we had a flat tire, or we can simply say that we overslept. This is a good example because taking responsibility also makes us look bad, but so be it. If we choose to lie to save face, and accept no responsibility, we are like a child who lies to mom even in face of evidence, only to avoid punishment. We are grown-ups when, regardless of the consequences, we state the truth. Let me repeat that. We are grown-ups when, regardless of the consequences, we state the truth. White lies are one of the most significant signs of an immature personality. At times, we will lie even to our closest friends because we are ashamed of our choices. We lie about a place we visited or a person we saw just because we do not want to be scrutinized for our choices. This also shows that we are so insecure that we have to hide our actions, or that our actions are so despicable that we have to keep them quiet. The sense of guilt in our subconscious initially structures itself passively, as we only obey rules set by others for fear of punishment or the fear of losing love. Subsequently, when our perceptions grow with age, as we sense other people's feelings are separate from ours, we begin to feel our shortcomings when we hurt others. This leads the way to the sense of responsibility to mend the damage we might have caused. Ungrown adults, the search for a means to silence the sense of guilt can go to the extreme of looking for a state punishment, like prison, that can quench this insatiable need for rules and limits, unoffered in younger years. With not yet adults, we also see that the sense of guilt can express itself with the hypochondria of having an illness that we perceive as a deserved punishment. Growth is therefore the moment when we transition from the sense of guilt, where we blame others, to the sense of the responsibility that accompanies free will. This is one of the defining rites of passage of adulthood. This is Motivation in the Dark, and that is all I have for you today. Thank you.